Now, the reason Cynthia's picture's up here is because she needs to walk up here to the podium. As the 2010 award recipient, she will be presenting the 2011 award to whoever that individual might be. Well, that didn't work out too good. Our first finalist, and these are in alphabetical order: Rochelle Walton Gray, St. Louis area. Jeannie Kirkton, also of the St. Louis area. Nick Marshall, up in the Platte City, Kansas City area. Janice Monticello, I believe she's also of the St. Louis area. And Clem Smith, who is also in the St. Louis area. Now, I'd like to point out that Mr. Marshall is the only Republican listed up there. He got that because he went off the reservation quite a few times and voted along the lines of what the Democrats were voting for. For that, I applaud him, because there are plenty of pieces of legislation that were introduced that we deemed unconstitutional that Mr. Marshall was able to see through, or he actually read that piece of legislation and decided it was not very good and voted against it. Podium's yours.
Thank you, and it is a huge honor to be with the TICOA group tonight, because there has been such a dumbing down of what the Constitution means. And were it not for the young conservatives of America, we simply wouldn't have anybody holding people accountable. So I just want to give you some thoughts to ponder tonight, because you know that I love the Constitution. That's how I actually got the award last year, is by consulting this little document to see if it's right. And I had some concerns about the general trend the whole legislature is headed. And the whole legislature is headed. And I wanted to give you a thought to take home tonight, because this is our lowest common denominator. The Constitution is what we all agree are our foundational principles that we should abide by. And when Tom told me that only 41% of the bills that passed out of the House this year were constitutional, with a supermajority in both chambers, that's just not good, folks. If we lived in some other, let's say the East Coast or the West Coast, I could understand it, but not in Missouri. So we're about to show you. Let me ask you to imagine what would happen if we replaced all the speed limit signs in Missouri with signs that said, use your best judgment. See, that's what they're doing to the Constitution. Their legislators are sitting there using their best judgment instead of actually going back to what does the original document say we're supposed to do. So let me give you a little tip. As a former state legislator, I did have an opportunity to go on a ride along with the State Highway Patrol. I'll just tell you 4 things to never say to the patrolman if you get pulled over. One is, don't say, but I just didn't feel like I was going fast. Because you know what? It's not how you feel. It's what the law says. Okay, so don't say, but I didn't have an accident and nobody got hurt, because that's still not the criteria. And thirdly, don't try this one. Officer, I drive the correct speed like 82% of the time. It doesn't work. And then finally, don't say, how about I go back up the hill and then come down it at the right speed? Now, I just want to say what the legislature has done in a way is making up rules for why their laws were okay to pass. And this is what Tom heard, an earful of why a bill really was good, even though some of it was bad and there was some good. And I don't like being lied to. It's either good or bad. And just to explain it, some of you know I got up at 3:10 this morning to rush here to be with my favorite people, because I was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I had to get to Spokane, but at this nice resort, this is what they gave us. This is really cute. I had to bring it for all of you to see. It says, this is soap, by the way, folks. It says, this innovative, ergonomically shaped waste-reducing soap has been designed to eliminate the unused center of traditional soap bars. Okay, so I call their bluff. This is what they're doing with us, folks. They're trying to sell the citizens as, folks, this is much better for you. But you know what? I know they're lying to me, because in the same bathroom, they had this. What do you think this is, folks? The wasted center. Well, if this thing is no good, why'd they even, where's their dignity? You know, what do you mean? You're giving me the center now? And I propose to you that for years, we've been watching bad legislation pass, and it's like the emperor's new clothes. And for those of you who don't remember the story, the deal was if you were smart, you'd vote. Well, sorry to insult the legislators. It's about the emperor's new clothes. If you were smart, you could see his clothes, even though he didn't really have clothes on. So finally, he paraded around town, and one little boy said, "The emperor is naked." And then everybody acknowledged it is what it is. And that's why this award is so important, because with the hours of analysis, we're finally figuring out what is truth. And that's helping all of us. That's why we got the China Hub passed, and the Mosira passed, and the Facebook friend prohibition passed. Those things are happening because people aren't looking at reality and asking only one simple question. Is it growing government bigger or smaller? Is it costing us more money or less money? Is it more intrusive or less? I mean, and that's the 8 criteria. And they're in your bulletin, so you can take that home with you tonight and reflect on it. Because Tom got an earful. I'm telling you, what's corrupted the process is all the lobbyist money. And you know what? As a state, having spent 8 years in the Missouri House, people who are constitutional rarely get awards. Thank you. There are people who don't notice us. But thanks to the young conservatives of America, somebody did notice. Now, the best way to describe this thing with the lobbyists, I need to tell you, in St. Louis area, we have a botanical garden. And if you ever get to St. Louis, you must go see the botanical garden. And they've got a fish pond in there that's stocked with these gigantic goldfish, and they're called koi. Have any of you ever seen the koi? Okay. Now, that is the perfect description of what's happened to the legislature, because they've got a little vending machine, and you put the money in and you turn it, and you throw it to the fish, and the fish are like this. They've lost their dignity, folks. It's all about the free food and if you want to know what it feels like to be a lobbyist, go there and buy some of that fish food and throw it in and watch them grovel for who can get the food. Why can't they be fish again? What happened to their pride where they go out and get their own worms? But Tom had to hear everybody. What he did is he came up with a granite plaque. And I have to admit, my granite plaque is exquisite. And you saw a picture of it, even though you took my picture down now. It made me happy to relive the moment again. Because once he did that, and once the young conservatives started looking at these bills, measuring them by the Constitution, it woke up the legislators, and like the koi, they're like, oh wow, there's an award to be had. What do I have to do to get it? Well, guess what? Anybody can win the award. All you have to do is vote right. This is not a schmoozing contest. It's not about who kisses the most babies and shakes the most hands. And as they said at my table at dinner, what do you think this is, a Nobel Peace Prize? It's about reality. It's about your voting record. And that's why I'm so honored to get to be here with the like-minded people who recognize what really counts and what makes it good. So now I'm going to ask for the envelope and the drum roll. What was it? And the winner by 2 votes is, and I don't even know who this is, by the way. This is a top secret. They kept this tightly held to their chest. The winner is Nick Marshall. Go ahead, Tom. I'll let you take over from here. Nick, congratulations.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
I never got to serve with you, but it's good. Okay, so picture of all of us?
The 2 of them.
Oh, okay.
Stand over there.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Nick.
much.
I have a feeling if I'd had to serve with Nick, we would have been together on a lot of votes. So this is really an honor. Sorry I didn't get to join you, but I'm proud of you for a freshman. That's spectacular.
Thank you very much.
Okay, here we go.
We've got a couple different things.
Okay.
We have a certificate as because you were a finalist.